I feel as though there's something down here that doesn't want us here.
Ghostly apparitions, murder and war await the most haunted team in Bradford. Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. Our northern base can lay claim to one of Britain's first recorded ghost sightings. And nearly 400 years later, mystery still surrounds a place where full apparitions, pungent odours and poltergeist activity waits around every corner. That's why I've brought you to Bolling Hall. Dating back over 900 years and lying on the southern outskirts of Bradford city centre, Bolling Hall is a building that has grown with each passing century. First noted in the Domesday Book in 1086, it's thought that the hall was first acquired by the Bollings in the 12th century. Not only did it witness the siege of Bradford, it was actually used as a royalist base during the Civil War, and one of its most notable treasures being the death mask of the rebellious Oliver Cromwell. However, the hall, which has been a museum since 1915, has an even greater history of hauntings that date back several centuries.
I think that Bolling Hall is probably the most confusing and complicated haunted property that I've ever been to, and it's taken me an awful long time and quite a lot of research to get my head round the place. But the fantastic thing about it is that it has so many documented, recorded sightings of ghosts, not stuff that you just pull up off the internet, but I'm talking about the academic stuff that goes back many, many years.
First recorded in 1643, the ghost of a woman has been seen in here wringing her hands many times. Also, the bedclothes are pulled from unsuspecting guests with regular occurrence. But there's one thing that happened in this room that was incredibly brutal. An elderly gentleman was killed in this very bed, and ever since then, his ghost has been seen in here on several different occasions. There are a few strange occurrences that happen around this beautiful Georgian staircase. One of them is a foul smell that permeates around this area. The other is a strange rattling noise that's heard in the dead of night. But perhaps the most terrifying is that of two apparitions that are seen here on a regular basis. One is a woman in grey and the other is a woman in pink.
There was one afternoon we're close to the public and I was actually cleaning up the museum, and in the entrance to the drawing room in the Georgian wing I saw a lady in an old-fashioned dress, and for a split second I just saw her and she wandered out of view into the Georgian staircase area. I run up to where she was, and as I got there she vanished. And I looked at the portrait which stands on the staircase, on the Georgian staircase, and it was Mrs. Wood. It looked exactly like her.
There is a legend that a woman was thrown off this balcony and killed. As there are no records of this actually happening, we're not sure if this event ever took place. But what we do know is 10 security guards left the hall in absolute fear in the last 2 years after seeing what they describe as a frightening apparition of a woman wearing a white dress. She walks along this very spot, wailing as if in pain. Our quest for further paranormal evidence continually takes in a whole host of contrasting buildings. But today we're presented with a former family home that has served as a local museum for nearly a century. An unusual scenario that certainly interests parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe. So is there anything we have to be careful of tonight?
The museum houses a lot of visual prompts, a lot of exhibits and artefacts that one could interpret as being associated with the place. There's one particular area where repeatable phenomena has been witnessed, and that's an apparition of a grey lady, sometimes a pink lady, which is in the Georgian wing. Because there is a big portrait of a lady there, people may be reporting the apparition after they've seen the portrait.
She's dressed in pink.
Exactly. So there may be a suggestion aspect going on there.
And also, I suppose we've got to be very careful because where the museum is situated, we're right in the middle of a housing estate, I suppose. So there's lots of noise.
Yeah, we do have to be very careful, and also there aren't any gates or fencing to block people from coming into the grounds. So we have to be very aware, and John Gilbert also has to be very aware that there will be voices outside of the building.
So would these ancient walls shield our investigation from the nearby distractions of modern-day life? With spiritualist mediums Derek Okora and David Wells also now on site, and with neither knowing anything from this building's past, Most Haunted was now ready to peel back the layers of time at Bolling Hall.
There's no activity, spiritual activity at this moment that I can feel here. However, again, from the residual energy, what I'm receiving here is of mental imagery of a lady who moves about this, if I can call it, a home, and she's very sure of where she's going. So I feel a lady that's not like in service, but a lady.
Yeah.
Rosamund. And she's not happy. She's not happy.
Why?
It's like as if she's angry because of her love. I feel this could be partner, husband, was not there with her. And she's angry with someone. Not with her husband, but she's angered. How dare they? How dare they? It's like as if there's a group of men that have taken him away. And she's so lonely. She was so lonely in this atmosphere, in this big house. She shouts out, Richard! Richard! Richard!
What time period?
When was this? When was this? Again, we've got 15. 1537. 1537.
And that's when Richard was taken away?
Was that when Richard was taken away? Yes. Yes.
Why was he taken away?
Why was he taken away, Sam? Because of his beliefs. Because he stuck firm to his beliefs. I got this before. It's like as if, as you've asked that question, Ivy, I'm transported to the residual energy because Richard also comes here in spirit form. Because
but just in visitation?
Only in visitation. Yeah. He's not grounded.
Yeah. A love lost and persecution of faith underline the opening stages of our time in Bradford. But several centuries on, can the victims of Bolling Hall's past contain their unrest in the dead of night? Bradford's Bolling Hall Museum has fast thrown up two facets from its long and often tempestuous past, and having identified one such soul in the form of the highly influential but controversial landlord Richard Tempest.
I am aware, or being made aware, of a spirit man's not